Paul Kreiter, it is so fantastic to have you in my little virtual space here today. Look at me. We're already playing the games. Okay, I'm going to start this off by asking you a question.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you are looking forward the most to in the next week?
I get to buy a new car. Yeah. My lease is up on a third row, schlep the kids around vehicle, right?
Uh-huh.
And my wife's like, we're going to buy something. I'm like,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I black out and I go into a 2-month, like deep research for, cars.com and Auto Trader and True Cars. And I compare and I have worksheets. And so we're going to take care of that this week.
You are in the nerdy phase of buying a new car. What are you leaning towards getting?
Oh, we have a Mazda in the house.
Okay.
My wife has
Okay.
been driving the same. This is how really cool we are. Okay. That's why I'm on everyone. That's why I'm on this show, is because of how cool I
You're
am.
really cool, and I only hang out with really cool people.
So if how many places you drive to is an indication of coolness, we've had a Mazda 3. It's a hatchback sedan kind of car since 2012. Still runs beautifully. Has 100,000 miles on it.
Wow. Okay.
Over 14 years. That means we don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. They're like, so what kind of lease do you want? We purchased that car. They're like, what kind of lease are you looking for? We're like, I don't know, what's the lowest? We don't really. They're like, what about 10,000 miles a year? I was like, I guess. Like, where are we going? We don't do anything,
Well, I think you need more road trips. I think that's what needs to
I
happen.
think you need more road trips.
I probably do. I don't own a car.
The coffee hasn't kicked in yet. That was harsh. I shouldn't have said that.
It's really okay. I can handle it. I can handle it. Because do you know why I can handle it?
Yeah, no.
Because I've been trained in soft skills.
Oh, you said it, didn't you?
I did. I just said it. That is the whole point of this conversation we're going to have here today.
Yeah.
Is we're going to talk about the importance of, and I think we need to reframe it. We need to find a new name for soft skills.
No, I really like it. I really like the way I love the connotation
of soft.
Soft, I think
soft. You're so soft.
Of Bavarian pretzels, like just one. I think of the fabric softener bear.
I think of a fontanelle. You know what that is? The soft spot on the baby's head.
Oh yeah,
that hasn't fully formed yet.
So I think of the marshmallows, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, or the Michelin Man. Right?
They're all of these things that you've just listed, that we've both listed. I only listed one, but they're cool. They're all cool. Yeah. The soft stuff, and I like it when it's chewy.
Soft and chewy.
Soft and chewy.
I guess it depends on what it is we are putting in our mouth, I suppose.
It's very true. Well, I want to welcome everyone who's watching right now. Hi, I'm Meridith, and I am here once a month on Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for the Speaker's Lounge, bringing you visionary insights so that you can be a more confident and, what I like to say, unforgettable speaker. And I am excited to be here today with Paul. And as you can tell, we're going to have a lot of fun unraveling what does it mean, these two words, soft skills, and how do they apply to you? And the thing that's so brilliant is that both Paul and I do very similar things. We help people share their message from the stage, and we absolutely love what we do and have very unique and different backgrounds, but yet very similar backgrounds. And so, Paul, welcome. I would love for you. We now know, Mazda, you're getting. What just happened to me? I disappeared and then I came back.
I used my little magic wand and it said, bling, taking over your show.
What happened? Oh my goodness. Maybe it's because I have AI open right now and I need to quit out of Claude. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about what do soft skills mean and why are they important? And Paul, before we go there, I'm passing the baton over you to my friend to properly introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. Meridith, you and I have known each other for a blip of time. A blip. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all blips, let's be honest. But like in the blips of blippiness.
Yes.
We are blips.
We are.
And I have found your company your sense of humor, your ability to create connection, the places that you play and work. I mean, they all resonate with me so powerfully because those are the things that matter to me in my profession and in my personal life.
Mhm.
Um, by trade, I'm a speaker agent and talent agent. I help design featured presentations for main stages for conferences and summits and galas and expos and trade shows. My job is for almost 20 years now has been to help event planners find the perfect choice for those stages. The pandemic helped us all recreate ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And I leaned into the other side of my business, which is presentation design and coaching for those who want to use speaking and speaking products as a way of driving traffic back to their brand and their business. I love to do that work because of what I love to do personally. I love telling stories. I love music. I love art. I love getting silly with my kids. I have an 11-year-old, 8-year-old. They still let me do it, which is great. I have never been a normal, just straight shooting kind of guy.
Which is why we get along.
This is why we get along.
Why
You look
we
at
get
my
along.
movie collection. I mean, like, here's what I'm making my kids watch today.
Oh,
Okay.
tell me.
And with my wife looking on, being like, "Are we sure about that?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Labyrinth, David Bowie,
Oh, yes.
and Jennifer Connelly?
Yes,
Okay.
it is a family movie.
It's a family movie, except
Yes.
for some of the close-up crotch scenes of David Bowie, but that's fine. That's fine.
That's okay. We
We're
love
gonna
David
learn.
Bowie. You know what?
There's
Matters
Muppets
better.
in that, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just saying, there's Muppets in that.
There's
Whether the
Muppets. There's
Muppets,
a lot
they
in
remove
that.
their heads, that's whatever, that happens. But like these kinds of movies, there's a movie, a different era called Kung Fu Hustle. I don't know if you know what this movie
I
is.
do know that movie. We have not watched that. I think now we need to put that on the playlist.
Kung Fu Hustle is a parody on Kung Fu movies, and it's the perfect um, meshing of like parody and like really slapstick kind of comedy, like Marx Brothers style,
Mm-hmm.
and straight up amazing kung fu choreography fighting films.
I love it.
And I'm like, kids, this is what we're doing for Father's Day. And
Ah!
they're like, great. And of course, Back to the Future and Indiana Jones. And I mean, just all of these movies that I grew up on and made me feel like I could do anything and talk about anything and communicate with anybody in any way using some of these, these stories. The Goonies, like, my gosh. So
I knew you were going to say the Goonies.
The Goonies. So these things matter to me because they make me feel good. I feel connected. I feel like I find a community or a tribe that you belong to. Where you can quote the same things. You understand the same things. My 10-year-old, oh, well, he's 11 now, but when he was 10, we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail together.
I haven't gone there yet. I don't know if I can do that yet. I think I'm still traumatized by high school theater. And that's all. And that's after every single after party, you would do the show and then you would have like the big cast party.
Oh, yeah. What a Rocky Horror Picture Show, I'm
it would
sure.
Be Rocky Horror Picture Show, or you would play, or it would be Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And it would be a bunch of like theater nerds sitting in one place in the house just watching that show. And then
me and my boy are walking around the house.
Walking around the house like, yes. Rocky Horror Picture Show, though, I totally we watched that a couple months ago with my daughter, and now it's playing here in New York. And so I'm like, you gotta go.
Well, hence our relation, like why we get along so well.
Yes. See? Okay, so let's talk about what we're seeing these days, Paul. Let's talk about what we're seeing when we are coaching. Not only the leaders that we've been coaching, but some of the teams that we get to coach, these conferences that you get to work at, the people that you're booking. Like, what is something that you're happening? What's a common denominator in this world now that we have AI? And AI is this tool that's incredible in so many ways, but it's also showing some of its gaps. And I would love to talk a little bit about what you are noticing, because I think the soft skills apply here.
Yeah. So I have two different views in my two different worlds that I play in. They all relate, but there are two different categories.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the event planning stuff,
Mm.
I'm meeting with event planners who want to put that featured somebody on their stage. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I hear from them constantly is they want someone who is primarily going to be content driven, right?
Yeah.
They want someone who is heavily focused on their industry or their thematic content, which makes sense to me, right? I get that.
Mm-hmm.
People are showing up to their in their audience and are there to learn something from the person that they deemed featured who is communicating with microphone to these people, right? Most of these event planners, not all, most of these event planners see that as an information sharing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
What I have helped them understand in my nearly 20 years of doing this is that this is not an information sharing experience. This is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a show.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about show vernacular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being in the theater, like you have a stage, you have a microphone, you have a sound and lighting technicians and booths, and you have stage. Sometimes there's a behind the stage and green room, and there are all of these elements of performance.
Yeah.
That is often, it's either disregarded as unimportant or soft, or they just don't know the value that it brings to that experience. So when I am introducing people who will absolutely light up the stage, and I don't mean and it can go here sometimes, that fluffy, let's get going, everyone on your feet, and let's get moving sort of motivational speakers.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people who brilliantly blend performing and teaching at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teaching, aka information sharing. That is what teaching is doing. Teaching is also, there's a learning factor. So there has to be an entertainment and engaging component that goes with it. But I'm helping these event planners understand that you can elevate your experiences by bringing someone in who's going to give the audience something they can remember, right?
Yeah.
And that is often overlooked because, well, audience wants information. Yes, but as you were saying, right, you can get information from Claude today and ChatGPT and Gemini, and every AI entity will give you information. Mm-hmm. So why do we go to these events, event planners? And they're often like, I don't know what the answer is there. Is it a soft skill answer? Because I don't know. Right. And the answer is because you have an opportunity to give your audience something they cannot get sitting at home in their soft pants. Now that's where I would use the word soft.
In their soft pants. I love it.
Pants. Right.
I love it so much. Well, and it's true when we're just giving information, what I've noticed is the information starts to sound the same from one speaker to the next because no one's really differentiating themselves. They're not finding their own unique voice or their own unique way of presenting or entertaining the audience, if you will. And I find that what happens then is then I ask the question. This is a question I ask. What's the point? Right. What was the point of spending all of that money to bring all of these people and gather them in community? That's a good point. I mean, that's a good reason to bring people together live, is to build the community. But don't you want people leaving, remembering the content so that they can share it with somebody else and they can share it simply with somebody else? And I do believe what you're saying is so true, is that we have to find different ways to engage our audiences. We can't just be talking at them and dumping information on them all of the time. Right. So I do have a question, which is, I would imagine the person who is watching or listening right now might be thinking to themselves, I am not an entertainer, and they might get tripped up on that word, entertainment or performance, if you will. So can you share with me, what is something you might say to somebody that is actually a good speaker, but they don't want to come across as performative? perhaps we want to coach out of them bringing their own unique self to the stage. How would you phrase that for somebody?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and I think it's a real concern for people, and I wouldn't poo-poo that at all. Often I will hear, I don't want to be scripted. I want to be, they think of performance, they think of a script. Right? And it's like, good, because this is not a scripted experience. What we're trying to help people understand is think of yourself as the audience member. Right. And that is often lost on speakers because who don't have that kind of experience is because they can't remember that in the moment, or they're not practicing or rehearsing with that in mind. There is a lot of focus on what do my slides look like? How are they arranged? And I think our listeners here might not be nodding their head. Most people think a slide is the presentation. Oh, my presentation isn't ready because my slides aren't done. Yeah, but what if tech conks out in the middle of your slide deck experience? What, you're done? That's it? You shut down? Like unplug and you down like a robot. It's no longer working.
It's like the life force.
So you owe it to the other human beings in that room to create rapport and connection, right? You cannot just rely on your scripted understanding of your industry, of your product, of your demo, of your service as a way of connecting with these people. Because there will be moments where making sure that they understand what it is you're giving them matters more than what it is you're giving them. Because if you aren't finding a way to helping these people understand that what you're giving them is something they can use or how to use it, then it's irrelevant that you've had that experience in the first place.
Yeah. Agreed. Very much agreed. I also feel that what you and I get to do, which is really fun. This is a fun part of my job, is getting people to creatively think about how they're presenting the material. So when we are in the theater, as actors, we learn what's called blocking, which is where we go on, where do you go on stage? Like, what's the direction in which you're supposed to exit on what line and take a sip of tea on what line and so forth and so on. As a presenter, you don't really get those anchors. I call them the anchors. So what I like to do is ask the question, are the slides your only option for getting your message across?
Right.
And that stumps people a lot because that's all that's been modeled to them. And I'll be like, you've got slides, you've got flip charts, you've got the tools that your audience has come into that your audience has, like their purses and their backpacks and their phones, and there's so many different things. You don't have to stay on the stage.
You have your body.
You have your body.
You have your face. You have your hands. You have your tone of voice.
All that stuff, right?
These are all tools.
So many tools. So I always ask, let's build something that's not dependent on this one tool. Let's build something that's going to give you some variety, because that's going to keep your audience engaged. And it can also help anchor you in the same way you're anchoring yourself and depending on your slides. And I agree with you. If all that fell away and it was just you in a chair with no lights, what would you do? You'd have to
do something. You got to do something. Right?
You'd have to. I actually have a friend of mine. She works for HP. She was flown all the way to India to deliver this huge presentation, and she's standing in the auditorium. And it's one of those really football size.
Cricket match is not happening, and they're
she's standing on this thing, and all of a sudden, it's like she's not even 5 minutes into this 60-minute presentation of hers, and all the slides go out, and they can't get them back up. They can't get them to work again. So she pauses, and she just continued. And she shared the story with me. I was like, that is amazing. Because what I do notice is things will go wrong, and then people start apologizing, and then they start trying to troubleshoot, and then it becomes about the tech, and it doesn't become it's no longer about the audience anymore, and that's so sad.
And to the point, which is, I don't want to be an entertainer, right?
Yeah.
But you do have to engage your audience.
You do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that entertainers will share with you. Like, that's a shared quality. Entertainers understand how to engage their audience.
Yeah.
So if the word entertainer has a connotation for you and you don't want to use it, fine. They are engaging people. Don't you want to be an engaging person? Yes, because they need to understand how important this stuff is. Aha, then we have something to work with, right? Yeah. And you don't have to feel scripted or unauthentic. You don't have to feel like you're putting on like a sort of a different version of yourself. The coaching programs that I know that you do with your clients and the ones that I do with mine are all designed around building the presentation experience from your skill sets, the things that make you you, the unique factors, right? Mm-hmm. These aren't just, hey, here's my formula, here's my program, force it down your throat and now be what I do. That's not what it is. No. It's use these ideas in a way that gets you to reach your audience in a more meaningful way, right? That doesn't rely on the things that could conk out, right? These things that could become obstacles for us. And that's really the point. But it's a fair thing for people to be concerned about. I'll share that there are things that I don't want to do for my business because I don't know how to do them very well. And I don't want to be told that I don't know what I'm doing. You know, when it comes to like marketing or bookkeeping or some of the more administrative, less of the audience facing work that I do, I spend probably more time doing things that some other people can get done a lot faster and a lot more efficiently than I can. I'm just too stubborn to ask anyone for help to do those things. I'm going to get it done the way I get it done. And hey, it's behind the scenes. No one's going to see it anyways. But gosh, my life would be better as a business person if I had more of a better plan or routine on how to tackle those things. And there's no difference. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. It's okay. I think it's a form of strength to ask somebody for help and to recognize that you're not capable or not, you don't need to do all those things, and delegation's huge. So let's talk a little bit about structure, because I like to talk about that because I come from the improv world, and that's what I like to teach clients. Is it's about, in improv, we have what's called a form, which is a structure, a framework, if you will, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. And so what I learned as an improviser is that when you practice that over and over and over and over and over again with your team, it becomes second nature, and you're able to find the play and the sense of formlessness.
Right.
And the thing I feel that most people lack is the practice piece and the trust piece, where they're not practicing their form enough. We're not asking you to memorize, as we've clearly stated, but you do need to clearly understand that form, because when you do, you make it actually much easier on yourself, because then you can find some play. The engagement piece is easier with your audience. And also what I realized is it helps you simplify the content. And what I've noticed, and you can probably relate to this, is that a lot of my clients are very technical people. They're swimming in the information all of the time, and they forget that when they're speaking to their audience, some people in that audience, this is the first time hearing anything about that information.
Right.
And so it's actually, if you take time working on something the right way, it's actually a lot easier than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, agreed. I think formulas, if we're talking about like soft skills versus hard skills, and I don't like either side in either language. I don't like the way that those are connotated or separated. Left brain, right brain. Like, it's your brain, okay? Like, you use all sides all the time, okay?
We're all creative humans.
We're all creative. We all can appreciate structure and formulas. So a big part of my background, in addition to the performing arts and improv, which is, again, where you and I got along swimmingly right away, is in teaching and like pedagogy, and creating learning experiences, and understanding and recognizing that everyone in your audience will think of things differently.
Yes.
There are going to be some clusters of similar learning styles, and then there are going to be some people that need something else. And as the leader of the room, whether you're teaching, performing, or presenting, okay, it's your job to create material that meets those people where they're at. Some people want to draw. Some people want to get up and be kinetic. Some people need formulas and mathematical points of view. I've never been that kind of person, but I understand that there are people in my audience and my clients that need that. So structure, I love it. In fact, I've been part of my career as being more of a creative than a structural person has been trying to find structures that I can really align with and digest for myself.
Yeah.
When it comes to helping the folks that I work with that are looking for these kinds of presentations that they can use, I do have a structure. I tend to use a sandwich model to help people understand where certain content goes, how it's compartmentalized, and a timing formula for how long they should spend in each section. Right? We tend to think of presentations as intros, a whole lot of content, and a forced conclusion, right? Hi, my name is, this is the agenda. We're going to talk about this. Yeah, if you have questions, you can interrupt me, but don't interrupt me. And let's just get started. 55, 60 minutes of content sharing and very little questions and opportunities to engage. It's just me speak, you listen. And at the end, it's like, okay, I'm done. I guess we have 10 minutes for questions. Go.
Oh, and then the energy fizzles out and your call to action has been destroyed because now you've just given the power over to your audience.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's rude on one level, right? Which is like, shut up. I tell you, I talk, right? Don't interrupt me. And at the end, if you can remember the questions you may have had when I talked about point 1 of my 17,000 points, then you can ask that question. But otherwise, shush, right? It's like ridiculous. So in terms of the structures that I teach people with this sandwich idea in mind, I think of these top buns as how do we get them to sink their teeth into the time we're going to spend with them, where we're going to teach them and engage in learning with them, right? We got to give them, though, that first bite. They got to have something that they feel, I'm ready now, because that was a delicious toasted sesame, pumpernickel, blah, 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 baguette, challah bread top you put on there. What was that you did?
We have to give them a reason to give a shit.
Exactly. And there has to be enough time for you to be creating shit-giving experiences for them, right? So if you think about the sandwich as a structure, right? You have a top bun, which is it's a thinner experience than the ingredients. Your huge layers of veggies and sauces and cheeses and meats, right? Very thick middle, but it starts with that first layer. It's thinner, but not insubstantial. So I think of it as if 100% of your time needs to be used with the time of your presentation, then 15% of it, that little thin top bun part right there, needs to create why should I give a shit moments. Now, some people might look at the clock and go, wait a second. So you're telling me in a 60-minute presentation, I have to spend whatever the math is. What is it? 9 minutes? 9 minutes for someone to... That seems like a lot of time. Yeah, but think of yourself as an audience member. Wouldn't you want to understand why this matters to you so much?
Yes.
And don't you want to understand who it is on that stage that's giving you this information, more than just a title? And those are opportunities to create the stories, the anecdotes, the industry blow up points that make your audience go, wait a second, this is really effing important. Great. 15% is up. Now that you get this, let's dive into the 70%, the reason why you're here. Core idea 1, ingredient, your veggie. Core idea 2, your cheese. Core idea 3, your meat. Yes, we're going to dive in and we're going to transition effectively because the juices and the sauces are flowing, right? Oh, and they just connect everything perfectly. Right? I'm the artisan chef, the baker, and the cook here, right?
Yes.
Everything just has to line up. The ingredients just work so well together, and the transitions and how you use your voice and how you connect with your audience and which slides and how you design them and how they complement your narrative. All that stuff is in that 70% where you have buy-in from that top bun. Now they're digesting all of these core ingredients, right? That's what they came for. Absolutely, they need that information, but not dumped on them. Curated, designed as an artisanal chef, baker, or cook would.
Yes. Intention. Yes.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at the end, okay, it's not, hey, we've learned all this stuff. Now, I guess if you have questions, go, right? No. In fact, I don't know if you share the same philosophy. I'm guessing you do, but I never, ever, ever advise my clients to put Q&A at the end.
Ever. Oh, never. I always say put it before the conclusion.
Never, ever, ever.
Never, because
because
you're giving. If you have a strong call to action, you want someone to understand something, or you want them to go take that action step, and then you do that, and then you ask for questions, then you never know what your audience is going to be like. Either it's going to be like crickets, or you're going to get the long-winded person, or you're going to,
right.
There's just like the amount of control you have over that is.
You said call to action, right?
Yeah.
Oh, love it. So that final bottom bun, okay, is the call to action. It's also a reminder of what has come before us, right? We are at this moment now where you have reminiscences of all of these ingredients, all of these flavors, all these sauces. Hey, is that a sesame from that top bun? Yes, it is. Right? Now that you have all this knowledge, okay, I'm going to put you through an exercise, an activity, something that helps you understand what you can go do about it now. Right. And that's where the last 15%, that's where the presentation ends on the now you know what to do, and fireworks and explosions and yay, thank you very much. And then you backflip out the door, as opposed to forcing them into a 15-minute Q&A. Some people will look at that formula, 15% for top bun, 70% for your core ingredients, and then 15% for the bottom bun, and go, yeah, but if there's no like formal introduction as to like your title and your agenda, and there's no Q&A at the end, how, like, where are those components? So you can always introduce yourself after you've created buy-in, right? I've told you stories, I've shown you industry blow up points, you understand why this is so important. Who am I to tell you that? Introduction, title, background, all these things. And now you see why I'm here, right, audience? And they go, holy hell, yes. Great. Stick with me because we got some delicious stuff to digest. Okay. And it's going to be great. So that's, check the box. That's where you've done your introduction, right? Yep. Yeah, but okay, fine. But when do they ask questions? When they have them. Yeah, but I have so much information to share. Then you have to design your presentation around times where you insert time for engagement, right? So if you have 70% of your time and you're doing 3 core ideas, you divide that up and you have equal amount of time per each. It's like 17 minutes or 14 minutes or something like that, right? I think it's 14 minutes. Whatever the math is, I soft skill.
We don't have to do the mathing. I'll let you off the hook with that one.
But you divide each section up into a specific and equal amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. So your veggie section, whatever that first core idea is, you're going to take 80% of that time, or 10 of the 14 minutes, to teach them something.
Mm-hmm.
Then you stop and you engage your audience in opportunities to assess that they've learned that something. Now, that might include them, I don't know, asking a question.
It could be a lot of different things. It could be a game you have them play. It could be an activity that you have them turn to their partner and do. It could be a question. It could be a poll. It could be, there's so many different things.
Exactly. But you've worked it in after the moments you have given them new information that will spark curiosity, questions, more activity. So you give them that, including time to ask or talk and think about things that might be making sense to them or troubling them. Take that time to have that mini moment with your audience to engage them. Then transition into your next core ingredient and continue that process. It's very formulaic. Take 10 minutes to teach, take 4 minutes to engage in learning with questions and activities and ideas. And you've completed, if you look back on it now, two sections where you've engaged in these back and forth moments. So how much time do we need to devote, if any, at the end, after you've given them a call to action, to go back and rehash questions that they may have had when they've already asked those questions or thought of those ideas, right? So you work it in there. What this is, and you know this more than most, Meridith, is a relearning of what that kind of presentation experience and the event experience can be. And this gets back to the ultimate theme of this session that we're having today. Soft in the corporate events, corporate communications world means we don't need all that. We don't need all that. We don't need all the stories. We don't need all of the relationship stuff. We need the opposite of that in their eyes, which is we need data, we need slides, we need information, we need return on investment. We need to know that our key ideas are being met, and the other stuff is fluffy, soft bullshit.
So, right? Yeah, you know what's interesting is that you mentioned ROI, that when we don't have the soft skills, we actually hurt the ROI because if people don't leave understanding any of the information that you find really important, the hard data, then it's going to be difficult to turn over customers if they're completely confused, right? Or if your own employees can't clearly communicate whatever the solution or idea is being built is. So I did research on this. It's $1.2 trillion per year that companies lose.
That's a lot of money.
To poor communicate, just to terrible communication.
You know what that is? That's soft money, but that's soft.
It's just soft. $1.2 trillion.
It's gummy money.
It's nothing.
It's marshmallow. It's mallow money.
Mallow money. Mallow money.
Mallow money.
Mallow money. Yeah, it's extraordinary. I don't mind taking that one. I mean, if they don't need it, I'll take it.
Yeah, listen, I'll take 1% of your 1.2 trillion.
I will happily give it to you.
Thank you. Listen, you've heard that here, folks. This is etched in stone and blood.
So that $1.2 trillion these companies are losing, I will happily take and then give you 1% of that.
Okay. I've changed my mind. Maybe more than 1%.
Maybe I can do 2 because I want you to buy the car outright.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting a car this week. Oh, I said to my wife, because 4th of July is coming up, there's always some sort of car sale, and America's turning $250, right? I'm like, maybe they'll sell the car for me for $250. She was like, "You're an idiot." And I'm like,
"Yeah, but you're a persuasive idiot, so you might just get that."
I'm like, America, listen to me, America.
I deserve. I don't know why I had to go into an accent. I'm sorry. I'm not stereotyping.
Sorry. America sounds like
America.
I mean, it's okay. And that's a George Bush That's George Bush, everybody. Just so you, that America.
Because we're old enough to do
We're
it.
old enough now, and his style of politics doesn't hurt anyone's feelings anymore, apparently. So that's fine. We're okay there. We're all right. But but I'll tell you that I was part of my storytelling, audience engaging work, and to your point about $1.2 trillion, which is an insane number. I was part of a storytelling group that would come into these like financial firms that sell financial products somewhere in the Midwest, in Indianapolis. And they brought us in, me and some colleagues in, because their numbers were showing that this firm of small to medium sized firms doing their kind of work, there was like 60 in the area or something like that. In that genre, and they were ranked 33, so like right in the middle of like no man's land, the Bermuda Triangle of no one knows or cares or remembers you at all. You're imaginary. You don't even, you're in the middle of nothing. Okay?
Yeah.
They're like, well, we need to do a better job of conveying our uniqueness, our differentiation, and so we start teaching them these things. But the one thing that stood out, and this is where you, to support your statistic, we asked the audience, there's about 200 sales executives there, right? Sales and account executives, all who have customers, and they do discovery calls, and they're trying to get people interested in their company in a better way, because it's not working, apparently. And as part of our research about them, we went onto their website to look up any kind of origin story or any kind of about us somethings or something that they could use, or maybe they have been using that maybe isn't working. We found some stuff. It was like tucked away on page 9 and in timeline form or whatever, but nothing really engaging. But it's there.
Yeah.
It is there. And we're like, oh, you know what? This company kind of has stuff to go on here. So we asked them, listen, we did our homework before we got here. And of the 200 people in here, how many of you know the company's origin story? And one poor lady was like, and everyone else was like, one of 200.
One.
And we're like, ma'am, thank you. Thank you. You don't have to recite it now. But can we just look around?
Yeah.
So do we think if we could communicate, convey, tell this story in a more powerful, meaningful, resonating way with your prospective and current buyers to keep them, that might change the game? And they were all like, oh my God.
It reminds me, I love this story because I love going on. I'm bringing up road trips again. Do you see the callback?
I do.
I do. And I love going to small town diners. I love it. And what I've noticed, there's this little trend in small town diners where they'll put the origin story of the diner on the menu. And I love reading those stories. And as I'm sitting there, I'm probably never going to go back to this diner again because I'm on a road trip. I feel like I'm a part of something. And it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, you did it. So folks, improv. This is one thing leads to another, the yes and philosophy. Don't block the other person, right? That's sort of the thing here. So you reminded me of one of the stories that I tell for why I came up with this sandwich model in the first place. I don't know, Meredith, if I probably told you some of this while we getting to know each other, but I went to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan for school. And I actually studied theater. I was there in the School of Music for acting and drama, and ended up getting into teaching and moving on to other things in my life. There was this diner in Central Campus called Angelo's. Angelo's was a greasy spoon, a black and white checkered floor. You walk in, it smells like syrup and buttermilk and bacon, and the menu is an encyclopedia thick of every kind of eggs, hollandaise sauce you could get, and thick raisin French toast. But the thing is, like every one of these amazing diners, it's been around for 60 plus years. If you don't get there at 6 a.m., you're not getting in. You're going to have to wait in line. And you learn that the hard way as a student. You're like, oh shit, I had to get up more before, at 5 o'clock in order to walk across campus to get to this place. I'm not going to do that. It's stupid. Anyways, this place, Angelo's, became a staple in Ann Arbor, so much so that a jazz rock musician in town, a man named Dick Siegel, who went there all the time with his band, and he would have like local concerts at the local concert venue, and he was like a part of the community. People know Dick Siegel and his work. And so in 1994, he decided, he had been going to that place for 15 years. He was like, guys, let's do a tribute to this band. And they ended up writing a song in honor of the band, of the restaurant. And it became sort of the, Sunday morning breakfast with the Beatles kind of thing, right? The local classic rock station, the Detroit classic rock station, would play this jingle as a way of calling people to go to brunch or breakfast or whatever. The song was called Angelo's, and it went something like this. It went, eggs over easy, a plate of hash browns. Take my hand, mama, we're going to town. Oh, what a wonderful thing to do. Eggs over easy, hash browns and you. We'll go to Angelo's, where the place is tops. We'll go to Angelo's, 'cause the place really hops. We'll go to Angelo's. We'll be licking our chops. Mama will pull out the stops. And when we'll laugh, when we leave that place, we'll be laughing out loud, smiling so hard we'll draw a crowd. They'll say, what's up, man? And we'll just have to boast about the eggs over easy, hash browns and toast. Yeah. Right?
Oh my God, and you remember all of it. I
remember it because
good advertising.
My soft brain.
Your
right? Soft brain remembers those kinds of things.
Any connection to the restaurant. You have a history there. You feel a part of the community. It's a good story. This has been a very, I'm going to say, yummy, very pun intended, interview with you, or conversation. Let's not call it an interview. That sounds very formal.
Call it whatever you want. You're soft.
I'm soft. I'm such a softie. I love how much we have talked about food today. And so everyone who's watching and listening, I imagine now you are hungry. And every time you put together a presentation now, you are going to think about a sandwich. You are going to think about how much time you're going to spend on that introduction, in that juicy middle, with all the yummy nuances that you bring and that special sauce that you bring. And then you're going to think about how you're going to bring your audience along on that yummy journey with you, and then end powerfully with your audience. So they leave remembering every single layer of that sandwich, because they're all important. Right. And that they can share that sandwich with another person, so that we can continue to feed more and more people with your incredible knowledge. Do you like how I just wrapped it up? Wasn't that beautiful?
That was perfect. And you think about this, and I'll add as the exclamation point here.
Yes.
A chef, a baker, a cook doesn't come out and bow, be like, oh, so happy you enjoyed your meal.
Yeah, some of them do.
Thank you. Some of them do, and Michelin, like whatever the
celebrity chefs,
4-star places. But these everyday greasy spoon restaurants that you just love and endear, those people go back to work to create that experience for the next patron. Right? Yeah. And it's done with intention. It's done with the design. They never just throw a whole bunch of ingredients on a plate and say, figure it out yourself. It's order, it's structure, it's process, it's intention. And it's all done with love and creativity and with purpose in mind, and performance as the backbone of it all. And so a place like Angelo's and the sandwich philosophy, it just reminds us that kind of structure is everywhere. Yeah. And you can use it for even what seems like mundane information sharing experiences. Add a little creativity to it, and it changes the game completely.
Beautiful. Thank you, Paul. If you're not already, please continue to follow Paul here on LinkedIn. You can also, where else can people find you, Paul?
Yes, they can find me at KreiterCreatives.com, Kreiter, creatives, plural.com. And what I'll do for the people who've tuned in is on my site, there's a whole, my philosophy about the sandwich and everything. I'll send everyone that link so they can check it out.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you. And we can also put it in the comments here. So Paul, this was a very fun conversation. Thank you for being here. And for those of you who are listening and watching right now, I'll be back next month. I'm here every first Monday of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern time to bring you visionary insights. I'm going to wrap it up by coming full circle with my intro, which is now an outro. Here we go.